The Meritorious Service Award is presented to Dr. Frank Wang. Dr. Wang is president of the Oklahoma School of Science and Math and formerly chairman of Saxon Publishers, Inc. He stepped down from his chairman role in 2003 to pursue his lifelong dream of teaching, spending 2 years in the classroom at OSSM teaching abstract algebra, geometry, and special topics in higher math. He also spent time traveling the country as he worked with economically disadvantaged students in large school districts before returning to OSSM to serve as president. A native of New York, Dr. Wang came to Oklahoma as a teenager, where meeting his high school math teacher would forge a path to lead him where he is today. He earned a bachelor's degree in math from Princeton and a PhD in pure mathematics from MIT. As a graduate student at MIT, Dr. Wang co-authored a widely used high school calculus textbook that was published when he was only 23. Through his public speaking engagements, Dr. Wang estimates that he has spoken to approximately 30,000 teachers, thousands of students in schools all over the country, including the New York City Public Schools, Los Angeles Unified School District, Chicago Public Schools, Washington, D.C. Public Schools, and Baltimore Public Schools. Even with a demanding schedule, Dr. Wang teaches at least one class each year at OSSM, as it is the teaching that rejuvenates and energizes him.
Hello, my name is Frank Wang, and I am honored to have been selected as a recipient of the Meritorious Service Award from the Gene Rainbolt College of Education as part of their Celebration of Education Awards for 2021. Let me share with you a little amusing story. In my first career, I was running a textbook publishing company based in Norman, Oklahoma. I was able to help grow that company from a very small company that was based from a home to a major national company with 250 employees and sales approaching 100 million. At the height of my career, I appeared in the Wall Street Journal in a little dot picture on the front page. That was one of my fantasy bucket list items, and I decided at that point to go to our board of directors and announce that I would like to step down from my position and pursue my lifelong passion to be a classroom teacher. And that's what I did. After a successor was named for me at the company, I went to the Oklahoma School of Science and Math and taught for 3 years for no pay. I also taught at the University of Oklahoma at the invitation of then President Boren. I had to take a small stipend from OU so that I could get a faculty parking pass, but I took my earnings and donated to OU libraries to help sponsor the Books That Inspire exhibit. When Dr. Manning, my predecessor, the founding president of the Oklahoma School of Science and Math, retired, she approached me and asked if I would be interested in applying for her position. I was selected to succeed her, and at my inauguration, I invited the teachers in my life to come and be part of the ceremony. I invited Mr. Frank Berlin from upstate New York, where I went to high school in upstate New York before moving to Oklahoma, to come and fly down from New York and be part of the ceremony. I invited Dr. David Drennan, my math teacher from Norman High School. I invited Dr. Stu Ryan, also known as Dr. Indestructo, now a retired professor of physics from the University of Oklahoma. And I invited Joe Taylor, Professor Joe Taylor from Princeton University, where I went to college. He was my freshman physics professor in 1983, and then in 1993 won the Nobel Prize. I brought them together to honor them as I became the president of the Oklahoma School of Science and Math. And I gave a speech to the students there saying that someday when they achieve success in their various fields of endeavor, that I asked them and I implored them to remember all those who so fervently and so earnestly invested in their education and look for ways of giving back. I'm a big subscriber to the Bible verse, Luke chapter 12, verse 48, that says, "To whom much is given, much is required." I've been very blessed in my life and looking for ways that I can give back and help and positively impact another generation of students. I thank you again for this award, and I certainly hope that I can live up and be worthy of it. So I'm going to continue my commitment to educating the young people here in Oklahoma. And again, thank you, Oklahoma. Thank you, the University of Oklahoma. And thank you to all my teachers who helped get me to where I am today. If you have a moment, I encourage you to watch a little video, a local TV segment about how I went back to honor my second grade teacher, my teacher from 1971 to 1972, who worked with me, poured a lot of love into me, and helped me to develop the confidence to be the type of person I am here today. And so sadly, she's passed away. She left no children, but I still felt a heavy burden in my heart to honor her. So I hope you take a moment to watch that. And just again, thank you all. And I wish you all a safe and healthful new year. Thank you.
Do you remember the teacher that you had back in second grade? Even remember his or her name, perhaps? Well, an Oklahoma mathematics professor who had learning problems in grade school came back to North Colony today to pay tribute to the second grade teacher he says saved him. John McLaughlin has the story. Can't wait to hear it.
It's a nice story, too, Jim. Dr. Frank Wang says his problems were so serious back in second grade that other teachers and professionals said he was unteachable and should be placed in a special ed school. But one teacher, Isabel Robinson, said absolutely not.
I come here to repay a debt that I owe that I don't think I could ever fully repay.
Dr. Wang came to the former Goodrich School with a $30,000 donation to honor the late Isabel Robinson, his second grade teacher at the school.
I was already pegged as a student that did not have any sort of academic potential or intellectual capacity, and she just poured a lot of love into me.
Mrs. Robinson and his parents defied other teachers and experts who said he was unteachable and should be transferred to a special ed school.
And even after I left second grade, she continued to pick me up after school, bring me home, serve me milk and cookies, work with me.
The Goodrich principal at the time says those special efforts by Mrs. Robinson probably would be misinterpreted today.
These days, I suppose somebody would suspect her, you know. I mean, it's ridiculous, but nonetheless, she was a special individual.
So they held a little ceremony here honoring Wang and Mrs. Robinson, who died back in 1995. The two kept touch over the years as Frank went to Princeton, MIT, got married, had a family, and became CEO of an academic textbook company. Back now with a check to remember Mrs. Robinson.
It's a pittance in comparison, really the priceless support and love that she gave to me.
Well, North Colony Superintendent Joseph Corr says a portion of that donated money will be used to train 3 math teachers who will then help out other math teachers in the grade schools. As for Dr. Wang, he is a visiting professor right now at the University of Oklahoma, and in July he becomes president of a public residential high school for extremely gifted math and science students in Oklahoma City, said to be one of the finest in the nation by Newsweek.
So much for unteachable.
I told you it was a nice story.
All it takes is one teacher. It's a great story, John.
Before we continue to our final award of the evening, I want to take a minute to acknowledge the difficulty educators have faced, especially over the past year, and recognize each one of you for the dedication you have shown to your students and your craft. It is more important than ever that we take the time to honor your role in the transformative power of education. On a personal note, tremendous gratitude is owed to our faculty and instructors for quickly engaging in teaching in new ways to successfully complete the interrupted spring 2020 semester.